Hello, it's Arit here. Welcome to the Estetino Artist channel, where we help you simplify your marketing so you can amplify your results and make more money doing what you love. So if you're new to selling on Etsy or you're thinking about starting your own Etsy store, this video is going to be extremely resourceful for you. What we've done is compile all of our most popular tips and tutorials on this channel and put them together in this video in a cohesive way. So you're going to have a lot of questions answered, like what's the cost of selling on Etsy? How does shipping work? What are some tips for increasing sales? What do I need to know about tags? So how do I make sure I cover all of my bases in my store to set it up in a successful way? So all of these things we're going to be talking about. And if at any point you want to skip past a video, we've included all of the chapter links below in the description. So you can browse through there, navigate through, and see what topics you want to watch more. So I'm not going to talk anymore here because I'm going to be talking a lot in the rest of the video. Make sure you grab your popcorn, a drink, a pen, and a paper to take some notes, and enjoy the show. So in this video, we're going to look at how you get paid on Etsy, the different ways to get paid. We're going to look at all of the fees. We're going to look at what those fees are when you are starting your Etsy shop and what to be aware of. And we're going to look at an example together so that you can see how these fees apply when they're in action when you sell a product in your store. Okay, so let's dive in. First thing I want you to know about is how you get paid on Etsy, because this is going to play into the fees that you'll be charged. So there's two ways to get paid on Etsy, two ways to receive payments from your stores when a buyer purchases a product. The first way is through Etsy Payments. Now, Etsy Payments is kind of their own internal payment processing system where buyers have a whole bunch of options in terms of paying you for your product in your store, and it's all processed within Etsy. So it's the primary way to get paid on Etsy, and it kind of puts all of these different payment methods, like you see, they can pay with credit card, debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, all of these things over here just through the Etsy payment system. So when you're enrolled in Etsy Payments, your buyers can choose to give you money through any of these methods. Now, the second way to get paid on Etsy is through PayPal. So you're either going to receive the money from Etsy Payments processing system or from PayPal. When do you use Etsy Payments? When do you use PayPal? You are actually required by Etsy to use their payment processing system if you fall in any of the eligible countries. So if you are in any one of these countries listed over here, then you're required to use Etsy Payments. So you can't, I'm in Canada, so I have to use their Etsy payment system. And there are fees associated with that, which we'll get into in a second. And a question that I got on one of the previous versions of this video is, if I'm on this list, can I use the PayPal processing system? Can I just, receive payments directly from PayPal from my buyers? And the answer is no, you can't. So you have to use Etsy Payments. You can't only integrate PayPal as your main method for receiving payments. The thing is, PayPal is a part of Etsy Payments. So your customers can choose to pay for your items. If they have a PayPal account and they want to pay with PayPal, they can do that, even though you're enrolled in Etsy Payments, and you'll still receive the money that way. Another question I had was, if I'm using Etsy Payments, do I still get charged the PayPal processing fees if the buyer pays with PayPal? And the answer is no. So Etsy Payment takes care of all of that. You don't have to pay any extra PayPal fees associated with that transaction, but you will be paying Etsy Payment fees. And again, we'll talk about that in a second. So like I said, I'm in Canada. I have to use Etsy Payments. The US, which I know most of you are watching from, is also over here. If you are not on this list, then that means you will be using PayPal. So you'll be integrating your PayPal account into your Etsy shop, and that is how buyers will be able to give you money. Now, there's another thing to keep in mind with Etsy Payments, and by the way, guys, every article that you see here, I'm going to link to all of these below in the description, so you can always refer back to them. Because there's always these if, ands, or buts Etsy loves doing those. So, so let's say you are eligible for Etsy payments. You just want to still come down here to this article because there are certain countries where there's you just need to be aware of this information. Like for example, if you're located in Israel, PayPal isn't currently available to Etsy sellers in Israel. So just be aware that your buyers, Israel, by the way, is on this eligibility list. So you will still be able to use Etsy payments, but you just won't have that option. Your buyers won't have that option to use PayPal to give you money. So there's just these little things that you can come in here and read, but those are the major things that you need to be aware of. Okay, so we talked about the different ways that you can get paid, either through Etsy payments, and if you're on this list of countries, you have to use the Etsy payments processing system, or through PayPal if you're not on this list. What are all the fees associated with selling on Etsy? So let's take a look at that. And we'll also take a look at the Etsy payments fees and how that all works. I think the best way to explain this, and I did this in my other videos as well, you guys really appreciated the visualness of my explanation, so we're gonna still be doing that today. And I mean, I'm a very visual person, so I find it easier to actually see the information on screen. So let's first list off all of the fees and I'll explain what they are, and then we'll go into an example together. So the first fee that you need to be aware of is the listing fee. All right, so the listing fee is 20 cents. And this listing fee is basically whenever you create a listing in your Etsy store, you will be charged a 20-cent fee. So in order to have your product listed up on Etsy, you'll be charged 20 cents to have that product up on your store. Now, unfortunately, it's not 20 cents for the lifetime of that listing being up in your store. You're actually paying 20 cents to have your listing up on your store for 4 months. So this is only for 4 months, and once those 4 months are over, your listing will be taken down and you'll have to pay the 20 cents again to have that item relisted. There's 2 options that you could do. You could do like an auto renew, so that you don't have to keep coming back and put your listings back up live. So there's an option to do that, in which case every 4 months that listing will automatically renew to stay up on your store and you'll be charged 20 cents. But there's also a manual option, so if you want to be aware of the listings that have expired, and then you can come and review them and see whether or not you want to list them up on your store again, then you can do that as well. You can set it to manual, and then after 4 months, that listing will be taken down from your store, and then you can review them and decide whether or not you want to pay 20 cents again to have that relisted. So that's the listing fee. The second fee is the transaction fee. All right, so your transaction fee is going to be 5% off of the retail cost of the item as well, or the retail price of the item, as well as the shipping cost. It's basically 5% off of the retail price as well as the shipping price that the buyer paid. So I'm just going to put that here so that we're aware of it. It's not just off of the retail price. So retail price plus shipping price. Whatever they paid, it's going to be 5% off of that. And again, we're going to go through an example. I'm going to show you with actual numbers what this looks like so that you can better understand it. The next fee you need to be aware of is called the auto renew sold fee. Now, it's a weird name. And that as well is 20 cents. So what the auto renew fee is it's kind of similar to the listing fee in that if you have an item that you listed with multiple quantities, so let's say you're selling a t-shirt, you listed that up in your store, you have 20 of those in terms of quantity, so you put quantity 20. When someone buys that t-shirt, let's say they buy 1 t-shirt from you, you'll still have 19 left up in the store. So in order for that listing to stay live, once they've purchased, then you will be charged a 20-cent fee. It's kind of like a version of the listing fee. In order for that listing to stay live, because you have extra quantities still available and you want that listing to remain live in your store, you're going to be charged 20 cents when that customer buys. If you only had one quantity of that item, so you only had one shirt, you had one quantity, and the customer bought that shirt from you, so your quantity goes down to 0, you won't be charged the 20% auto renew fee because there's nothing to renew. There's nothing for that listing to stay live. You've already used all of that quantity. So then that listing will be taken down, and then you can decide whether or not you want to adjust the quantity or switch it out for to pay a new 20 cents for a new listing. So that's the auto renew sold fee. And I know it's like, how do they think of these fees? I don't know. But that's auto renew. So the next one is multi-quantity fee. But wait, there's more. There's lots more, unfortunately. And you're probably I know some of you are going to be watching this video and you're like, this is too much. I'm out of here. I'm not starting an Etsy store. And yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. But for those of you who want to stick around, so the next fee that I want to share with you is a multi-quantity fee. So this fee is removed when a buyer buys more than one of your item. So let's say you have an item, you've listed it, and your buyer bought 3 of those. So for every additional item that they've added, for every additional quantity above 1 that they've added, you will be charged a 20-cent fee once again. So the multi-quantity fee applies for each additional item sold from that same listing. So if your buyer bought 3, let's say going back to that example, you're gonna be charged 40 cents because it's 20 cents for item number 2 from that same listing, and then 20 cents for item number 3 from that same listing. If they bought 4 quantity of that same item, then each additional quantity, there's 2, 3, 4, so there's 3 more, so 3 times 20 cents is 60 cents. You'll be charged 60 cents because they purchased 4 quantities of that same listing. So I hope that's making sense. So that's the multi-quantity fee. The next one that I want to share with you is Etsy payments fee. So this is the fee associated with you using the Etsy payments processing system. So again, if you're in one of those eligible countries, you're required to use Etsy payments, and the fee is it's going to vary just to make things a little bit more complicated, which Etsy loves to do. It's going to vary depending on where you're from. So how do you know what that fee is depending on what country you're in? I'm going to put, again, this article here is going to let you know. I'm going to put it in the description so you can always refer back to it. The fees are all listed out here. So if you're in the States, let's just scroll down here. The Etsy payments fee for you will be 3%, and that's off of the total order amount. So that's going to be the price that your buyer paid plus the shipping. That 3% is going to come off of that. So for you, it's going to be 3% off of that amount plus 25 cents. Because I'm in Canada, it's a little bit more complicated. For me, I have 2 different things here. If my buyer is in Canada or from the US, then my Etsy payments fee is 3%. Plus 25 cents Canadian. But if if I have a customer in the UK or Johannesburg, South Africa, let's say, then my Etsy payments fees is going to be 4% off of that amount plus 25 cents Canadian. So you want to come here, you want to take a look at what your Etsy payments fee is. I'm going to just use the US. Like I said, I'm in Canada, but I'm just going to use US just because we're going to go through an example together, and all of these fees are in US dollars. So just be aware of that. All of these fees are in US. So, you know, if you're in Canada, it'll actually be more than 20 cents because it'll be converted to Canadian. So I just want to keep everything consistent here and just easier to follow. So I'm just going to do this so that we're there in the US, and I know most of you are watching from the States. So, okay, so that's the Etsy payments fee. Now, these are the main fees, the primary fees that you will see in your store in the back end when you check your dashboard. There are other fees as well, though. So keep in mind, some of the other fees are, you might have currency conversion, you might have like VAT, taxes, there's shipping labels, there's Etsy ads, there's Etsy off-site ads. I know some of you are going to get scared away by all of these. And then of course there's the actual cost of you making the item, etc. So you want to take all of these things into account. I don't want you to be left in the dark. I want you to be profitable, and I want you to go into starting an Etsy store knowing all of this information so that you will be profitable. So these other fees that you see here, I'll just quickly go through them. Currency conversion fee. If your store is in a different currency than the currency of your bank account, then you're going to be charged a currency conversion fee by Etsy to convert that amount that came into your store into your bank account currency. So that fee is 2.5%. And so, for example, you know, I'm in Canada, and initially when we first started on Etsy, because most of our customers are in US, we had our store in US. That was our shop currency. But our bank account is in Canadian dollars. And so we were being charged 2.5% on all of that money that was coming in just for the currency conversion. So we actually changed it back to, we changed our shop currency back to Canadian so that we can avoid that currency conversion. So that's something to be aware of. And I actually did a whole video on that as well, on why we changed our shop currency. And I'll link to that video in the description so you can check it out if you're interested. Now, VAT taxes, we're not going to go too much into that because it varies, obviously, by country, by state, by province. And to be honest, I don't know too much about VAT. That's to do with the UK and everything. So just do your due diligence, be aware of the taxes, and also or VAT if that applies to you. Shipping labels, completely optional. If you want to opt in to Etsy's shipping labels program, which is just basically, instead of going to the post office to have them create that postage and that shipping label for you, you can have it all done on Etsy. So Etsy will take care of the postage for you. They'll give you this thing to print out, and you just stick that label on your package before you send that out to your buyer. So it's ready to go. The postage is paid. They have a bunch of carriers that they work with. So again, if you are using Etsy shipping labels, then there's a fee associated with that, and that will vary. But you can also just, sell your product, and then you just package it up and then go to the post office, and they will take care of those postage fees. All right, next, Etsy ads. Again, this is going to be only associated with you, or only applicable to you if you are using Etsy ads. So you can promote your listings within Etsy so that they show up at the top of the search and in other places on the Etsy website so that you can get more exposure. So be aware of that if you're paying for Etsy ads. And then also there's Etsy offsite ads. So far all of these things, well, besides taxes, are kind of optional, but Etsy offsite ads, if you are making more than $10,000 within the last year, so if your shop has made more than $10,000 within the past 365 days, you are required to be entered into this Etsy offsite ads program. And what that basically is that Etsy puts up all of the costs to promote or to advertise your listings on Google, Bing, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. they're promoting your listings. So if a sale happens through one of their offsite ads, if you make a sale through their offsite ads, then you're charged a fee associated with that. And the fee is either like 12 or 15% depending on how much you've made. So I'm just going to put 12/15%. If you've made less than $10,000, and I think this is where most of you will be, you've made less than $10,000 in the past 365 days, then entering into Etsy offsite ads is completely optional. You can decide whether you want to enter into that. If you do make a sale through Etsy offsite ads, then it'll be 15% as a fee. But just note that this isn't taken off of every single item that sells in your store. It's only applied to the orders or the sales made from the offsite ads. And again, if you've made more than $10,000 in the past 365 days, then you are required to use this, and any sales made from that is going to be 12%. That's your fee. So those are the most of the fees to be aware of, guys. There is like as well, if you have the Etsy Plus subscription, so be aware of that. If you've entered in a subscription with Etsy, you'll be paying monthly for that. Those are the main things that I wanted to go over with you. So let's go through an example together to see these fees in action. So again, I'm just going to be looking at these fees here. And so our store sells t-shirts. I create the different designs in Photoshop, and then we upload those designs, and then they get printed on t-shirts and other merchandise. Let's just assume that the product we have here in question is a t-shirt. All right. So in order to list this t-shirt, I'm going to be paying a listing fee in order to have this listed up on the site, on Etsy. So I'm going to just put here 20 cents for that listing fee. Now, when someone buys my t-shirt, so someone has come to my Etsy store, they've discovered my listing, they purchase a t-shirt from my store, I'm going to be charged 5%. So let's just say, let's go back to black here. Let's say that this t-shirt I'm selling in my store for $24, and then my shipping is $5. Just for the sake of simplicity, guys, there's going to be a $5 flat rate shipping fee, which we're just going to assume that all of that $5 goes straight into shipping costs. So the buyer has actually paid $29. And again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to go into taxes or anything like that. Let's just assume that they paid $29, and in a perfect world, that would be tax-free. So, okay, so I paid 20 cents to list it up. My transaction fee now will be 5% off of this $29. So let's grab a different color here. Orange for transaction fee. So we're going to do 5% of $29 is, screw the dollar sign, just go $1.45. So that's my transaction fee that I'm being charged. Now, if you remember, the auto renew sold fee applies to if I have extra quantities still available after that item was sold, then I'll be charged 20 cents again to have that item remain listed in my store. So because, you know, our designs are all print on demand, meaning if the buyer makes a purchase, the product or the t-shirt is only printed once they make a purchase, and that gets sent directly to the customer. So when we list our listings, we actually put like 900 for quantity because it's unlimited. We don't hold any physical inventory here. So because I have extra amount available after that item has sold, then I will also be charged that auto renew sold fee. And that will be, 20 cents. Okay, multi-quantity fee. So let's say our buyer has only purchased they've only purchased one t-shirt, so I'm not going to get charged the multi-quantity fee. But if they did purchase two, then I will be charged an extra 20 cents. If they purchased 3 of the same t-shirt, then I'll be charged an extra 40 cents, and so on. So just keep that in mind. All right, Etsy payments fee. Let's use blue for this one. So because I'm in Canada, you're in the States, we have to use Etsy payments, and that fee that we're going to use in this example is this 3% plus 25 cents. So that 3% is going to be taken off of this amount, $29. And let's calculate that. So that's 29 times 3% is 87 cents. Let's do 87 cents. And then plus the 25 cents right here. Okay. All right. Well, that's a disgusting 5, but let's go with it. All right. So these are all the fees that we have talked about up here. Just again, for simplicity, I'm not looking at taxes, I'm not looking at currency conversions, I'm not using shipping labels or doing any ads. So let's add up all of these fees that we have here, and let's see what we got in terms of fees, what the total is. So that's 20 cents plus 145 plus again 20 cents plus 87 plus 25. Our total amount in fees that we're paying is let's make that look better, $2.97. All right, so that's how much I'm paying in fees after this buyer has purchased one shirt from my store. So if I minus this amount here from the retail price, I'm not going to minus it from $29 because again, we're assuming that this $5 shipping fee is just the $5 is all going to shipping cost. I'm not seeing that amount. So let's just say 24 minus $2.97. So what's left over is $21.03. All right. So it's important to keep in mind that this necessarily isn't my profit because yes, we've removed all of these fees by Etsy, but you know, I still have to remember the cost associated with that product. You know, I have costs of my own, labor costs to design the design, also to purchase this shirt, which itself might be like $7, for example. So 21 minus 7. You get the idea. So just be aware of these other costs that are associated. Again, I'm filming this video because I want you guys to be profitable and to make the right decision to know whether or not selling on Etsy is right for you. Today, I'm going to answer the question for you of how long does it take for your money to get deposited into your account. I'm sure you're stumbling upon this video because your money from your Etsy account hasn't been deposited in your bank yet, and you're like, what's going on? And I get this question a lot, so I hope to clarify that for you. So there's 4 different things that might be going on. Number 1, you might have your fees greater than your actual income, the amount that you've made from your store. So if you owe more fees to Etsy than the amount that's actually coming in from your sales, then this is why nothing's been deposited yet, is because Etsy is taking that money directly from your sales before those fees need to be paid off before any money actually gets deposited into your account. Number 2, you need to have a valid debit or credit card on file. So if you don't do that, make sure you go to the finances section of your Etsy dashboard. Under payment settings and billing, you will be able to add a new card from there. Next, you need to have a valid bank account on file. So this is also something that's required. You need to have a bank account connected so that Etsy can deposit those funds. Some of you might be going, you're watching this and you're like, yeah, check, I have all of those things. So there's 4 things. Just keep in mind the 4th thing might be what you're missing here. But I just want to go through the basics for those who might not have these basics down yet. So you do need to have a valid bank account on file. And again, you do this by going to your finances section of your dashboard. Under payment settings and then bank details, make sure you fill that out. And lastly, if you've done all that, you have your debit, your credit, your bank account, you have more sales than you're owing fees, then your funds might just not be scheduled to deposit yet. Now, I did a separate video, which I will link to in the description below, on how to set up your deposit schedule, and you can do this however often you want. It could be a weekly, monthly, so you can watch that video in more detail. But keep in mind, if you are a new seller, meaning you just opened your shop on Etsy, you are kind of put into this 90-day period where Etsy needs to just kind of verify that everything is okay before they can actually release the money to you. So your funds will generally be available after 7 days of making your sale. But if you are a new seller, then that money is withheld from being deposited to your account for 90 days. Now, after that 90-day period, Etsy payment orders will become available for deposit the next business day. And like I said, you can set up your own deposit schedule however you like it, and you can check out that other video that I created by clicking on the link in the description below. So guys, I hope that has clarified for you in some shape or form where your money is and why it hasn't been deposited yet into your account. Like I said, I got this question so many times on our Etsy videos, so just wanted to clarify that for you. How to calculate shipping on Etsy. So I'm going to simplify this for you, but I'm going to start off by saying you're not going to figure it all out from the start. You actually have to take this information that I'm giving to you, implement it, and see for yourself and start to see if it actually works with your particular items, with your store, where you're sending your items to, that kind of thing. You're not gonna have everything perfect to start. So my goal for you in this video is to just get a better understanding of how to calculate your shipping costs so that you don't lose money and you're able to actually set up shipping profiles in your store to get you going. So there's two separate methods for shipping, two different ways that you can go. You can either get Etsy to calculate the shipping for you on an item, or you set the shipping fees and costs. So with the calculated shipping profiles, you will be providing the weight and the dimensions of your item. And based on where the buyer is and also what method they choose to receive their item, Etsy will, using their estimates with USPS and all that kind of stuff, will estimate the shipping cost and then show that shipping fee to your buyer at checkout. So it's a calculated shipping profile. So with this, the shipping costs are calculated by Etsy. They use the weight of the item, the dimensions, the buyer's address, as well as the shipping method that they choose or the courier service that the buyer chooses. They'll show them that shipping fee, and that's how shipping is calculated. The other way is you set up fixed shipping profiles for your items. So you set the fee on how much you want to charge for shipping. The smart way to do this would be first to estimate your shipping costs to make sure you're not losing anything. It's not just about shipping too, right? You have packaging costs and handling costs. When you see shipping and handling, the handling part is typically like if the time that it takes you to package an item, if that is a significant amount of time. That's kind of the benefit to going with fixed shipping profiles, because you can incorporate all of that in there, but you also are more in control. There is a benefit to going with the calculated shipping profiles just because it's more automated. You're letting Etsy do the work. I always say to my clients that, you don't want to automate something that you don't really understand fully, because you might end up with a bad result or a not so good result. So you only want to automate things that you for sure know and understand, because you want to then achieve better results. So I think it's a very good, having a fixed shipping profile is a good place to start, especially if you haven't sold anything yet on your store, because that way, you can better understand what the cost is. You can better set the cost of the shipping and then better understand the profits that are coming out of that sale. So how do we set up those fixed shipping profiles in your store? It's really simple to do in Etsy to create those shipping profiles, but you need to know what to put in terms of amounts, what you're going to charge for your items. So you kind of have to do the legwork and research ahead of time before you can actually get to that step of creating your shipping profiles in Etsy. So I've laid out this process of doing the legwork in 5 steps here. And this is the way my mind works. This is the way I simplified it in my mind to make it easier to understand what you need to do so that you can get those estimates and then plug it into your Etsy store. So step number 1, you'll need to look at the items you sell in your store and ask yourself which of these items are going to be different in terms of shipping. That typically comes down to weight, if there's a big difference in weight and a big difference in size. So you want to take a look at all of the things that you sell in your store and ask yourselves which of these items will need different shipping profiles because, that item over there weighs like 15 pounds and that item over there weighs like 1 pound, or that item over there is, really big and that one is really tiny, because those differences will matter, right? They'll each need different they will each have a different shipping cost. For us in our store, we sell t-shirts and mugs. Now those are 2 items that need different shipping profiles because the t-shirt is, quite relatively light, and the mug is it's a fixed size, first of all, so it's not like a t-shirt that you can kind of put in like one of those baggies, those mailer baggies, and then send it out. The mug will need like a box and also some bubble wrap. It's a fixed size box, and also it weighs a lot heavier than a t-shirt, right? So just estimate like that by looking at your items and identify, okay, this means I need to create 2 shipping profiles, okay? So I'll need 1 shipping profile for the t-shirts and 1 shipping profile for the mugs. And then for each item, once you've identified that, for each item, you'll need to estimate the packaging costs. You'll need to grab the dimensions of each item once it's packaged. So not the t-shirt itself or not the mug itself, but the mug in the box, the t-shirt in the packaging, the bag that you'll be sending out. So you'll need to grab those dimensions. And then you'll need to, using that information, you'll go and estimate the costs for various locations. Again, I'll go through a set example with you guys so that you can really see this in action. I am going to be talking about me as a seller in the US. Okay, so because I know the majority of the people who are watching these Etsy videos on our channel are mainly from the US, so I'm going to use the USPS website, the US Postal Service website, to estimate those costs of shipping out the t-shirt and the mug. If you are in Canada, you're going to use the Canada Post site. If you're somewhere else, you're going to use the relevant postage service site wherever you're at. So we're going to estimate those costs, and then only then are we able to take those numbers and then put them into the shipping profiles that we will create in Etsy on our store. Quite a process, right? But this is kind of the legwork that you need to do to ensure that you're not losing anything. So let's go through an example. Number 1, we've already identified this in our example store, right? So I identified we would be creating 2 shipping profiles, 1 for the t-shirts and 1 for the mugs, because they differ in weight, in size, they'll be packaged differently, so they will have different shipping costs. So now that I have those 2 items in mind, number 2, I need to estimate packaging costs. Okay, so let's get out of this presentation here and start to write some stuff down. So for the t-shirts, let me back up here. Before you can estimate packaging costs, you'll first need to know how you're going to package your items when you make a sale. So decide on what packaging you're going to use. Do some quick research, go online. You can, if you're selling t-shirts, you can easily just type in shipping packages for t-shirts, or, shipping envelopes for t-shirts, or you could do mug boxes for shipping. Whatever your item is, put that into Google. You will get suggestions. You can start to look through those things You'll see custom packaging and all this kind of stuff to make it look great and fancy, which is awesome. But for now, keep it simple. You can always change these things later. You can always add on later, but keep it simple for right now. Okay, so I did my research. I figured out what I want to use to package my t-shirts when I ship it out to a buyer, as well as my mugs. So let's start to estimate those packaging costs. So for my t-shirts, I'm going to be using these guys right here. So I found this on Amazon. They're these like poly whatever mailer envelopes. I found them on Amazon for 100 pieces for $13. So that means these envelopes are 13 cents a piece, right? Okay, so is that it for my packaging costs? What about, is there anything else? Let's think about it. So when I make a sale of the t-shirt, I'm going to just grab one of these envelopes, put the t-shirt in there, close it up. I don't need tape. I don't need bubble wrap, tissue paper, nothing like that, because these particular envelopes are, you can self-stick them. Just rip off the piece of plastic there and just close them up and they're ready to ship. So, and it doesn't require much handling either, much time. It's super easy to send out. So that's it for my packaging costs for the t-shirts. My costs are 13 cents a piece. What about for the mugs? So let's look at, for the mugs, I decided I'm going to use these little guys. All right. This is a 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches little box that I can put my mugs in. Now, I'm not going to just put the mug in like that into the box, right? I need bubble wrap, and I need tissue paper as well for extra padding. These are all things that I need to add on and factor into my packaging costs. It'll take a little bit of time to kind of like wrap everything up and tape it up, not too much time, but again, I need to just be mindful of that. So what are our costs? These boxes, I found this on Amazon for $25.50 for 25 of these boxes. Each box will then be $1.02. Okay, that's just for the box. So we need to factor in the cost of bubble wrap, of tissue paper. If I buy like a roll of bubble wrap or a thing of tissue paper, I could do multiple mugs. So, just kind of estimate the costs in your head. I would probably say let's round it up, and you'll notice I'm constantly overestimating, within reason, right? But it's good to overestimate. So let's just say $1.50, okay? To factor in the cost of the bubble wrap, the tissue paper, the tape, the time it takes for me to package it all up and send it. So my packaging costs are done for each of these, okay? So 13 cents each is my packaging cost for t-shirts. $1.50 each is my packaging cost for mugs. Okay, next step. Grab the dimensions of each item once it's packaged. So you'll actually physically need to put the t-shirt in the bubble envelope or whatever it is, the mug in the box, close it up, and write down these dimensions. Remember, it's once it's packaged, so it's very important to remember that. So t-shirts, and I took down my notes ahead of time. So, this should actually be dimensions and weight. Sorry guys, this is dimensions and weight once it's packaged. So you'll need both of those things. So I put the t-shirt in the envelope, I weighed it, and I found that it is 5.4 ounces. So the t-shirt is between 4 to 5 ounces, depending on the size of the t-shirt. XL will be more. And the envelope is about 0.4 ounces. So I'm overestimating, right? I'm taking the 5 ounces, adding the 0.4 to it. So I would even just go and say 6 ounces, just rounding it up. Okay, so 6 ounces is the weight of the t-shirt. Now the dimensions for this is 12 inches by 15.5 inches. By the way, guys, you don't like physically, you know, if you're just doing the research and you're looking at these packaging options, you haven't actually purchased them and you don't have them in your home yet, that's okay. Because when you look at, like, for example, when I looked at those t-shirt envelopes, it says the weight of the envelope, of the empty envelope on the listing. It says the dimensions of the envelope there as well. So you can estimate this without actually having it. You know, you can find out the weight of your t-shirt because you should have that in your home. And it's just simple to add these numbers up. Just keep in mind though, you know, the envelope for this t-shirt is 12 inches by 5.5, but when it has the t-shirt in it, right, it won't be flat anymore. So let's just say it'll be about an inch thick. So just keep that in mind. You'll want to be mindful of all of the dimensions, the height as well. The height of this will be an inch thick, let's say. So that's done for the t-shirts. What about the mugs? So the my mugs weigh 13 ounces. The box itself is 3.75 ounces. So if I add that up, it'll be 16.75 ounces. Let's just round that up to 17 ounces, which is a pound and an ounce. Let's just put 1.1 pounds for the mugs. That is, again, once it's all packaged up. So again, if you don't have the item with you, just add a little bit extra like I did, being mindful of there's the bubble wrap, the tissue paper. It'll add a little bit of weight to it, not much. So that's how you can estimate it. But if you actually have the item and the packaging with you, actually put the mug in, you know, wrap it up or your whatever your item is, and then weigh it once it's fully packaged. So that's the weight there. And the dimensions is, remember I said the box is 6 by 6 by 6. That's all it is. So I'm going to ship that box as is, let's just say, and those are the dimensions. So we have the weight and the dimensions for each of these items. Now, what's the next step? Let's go estimate the cost. So now we can take those numbers. We can take those numbers that we discovered in the previous steps and plug them in to our shipping or postage website, wherever you're at. In the States, it's USPS, and we can discover what those costs are. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so I am on the USPS website, which is the US Postal Service website, because I'm just doing this from point of view of a seller in the States, as I mentioned, because I know a lot of people watching this video will be from the States. So let's go ahead and hover over mail and ship, go to calculate a price, and we're going to use this to estimate our costs. We want to estimate a few things. We want to estimate how much it would be to send within the country, so within the States, how much it would be to send to Canada, so North America, and then internationally, I typically choose Australia and UK as certain areas just because those are either the farthest or the places where you'll find a lot of buyers on Etsy are from, I find a lot of them are from the UK, so that would be like the main kind of international country. Could totally differ for your store though, but let's just go with that. So within the country, within somewhere in the States, Canada, and let's look at UK and Australia. So you'll be on the site for a while doing your little research. I'll just show you how to do one of them here. So destination country, let's do within the US. What zip code are you mailing from? Let's just say I'm in California, 90210. Yes, I am Canadian, so that is the only postal code I know. Let's then look at sending to New York. Okay, so I'm gonna look up New York, and let's go with this one, 10001. Okay, you can just leave this date as today. If you want, you can select the time approximately which you would be mailing it out or shipping it. Would it be in the morning, the evening? But again, doesn't matter. We're just kind of getting an estimate here. So let's just say in the morning is when I'll be doing that. It's none of this stuff, and because it's a t-shirt and a mug. It doesn't require ground transportation, so I don't need to check that. What you will do here is you'll select calculate price based on shape and size. So even though it might be in a small envelope or a box, just choose this one, and because we have those numbers that we can put in, and it will help us estimate that way. So you can choose which unit of measurement. We did it in the standard measurement. So what's the weight of your mail piece? Okay, so let's do our t-shirts first. Remember, you'll be doing this for the different profiles of items in your store. So let's start with the t-shirt. Let's go back here. The t-shirt is 6 ounces and it has these dimensions: 0 pounds, 6 ounces. And select from the following options. So we know that we are going to be sending that envelope. It's important to note any dimension over 12 inches is considered a large package. So actually it wouldn't be a large envelope if it's over 12 inches, which it is. Let's go back here. It's 12 by 15.5. So we'll need to select that. I'm going to put 12. Actually, the length is 15.5. The height is 1 inch thick. The width is 12.2. Or sorry, it was 12. And then let's go continue. My package is rectangular. So if it's like an odd shape, you would choose non-rectangular, but we'll leave it at that. Go continue. And now we have our estimates. Okay, don't let these prices scare you. This is priority mail express 1 day, right? So that's not something that you'll be getting. You'll want to look at the standard shipping price. So let's look at what options we have here. Okay, media mail is basically, if you're sending educational materials, they just kind of name it media mail, like books and that kind of thing. So that's something you can look into if it applies to your store. Otherwise, you will be looking at, for 2-day shipping, it would be $9.30, and for standard, so 3-day shipping, would be $4.81. So technically, you could go and create these separate options, these separate profiles. So if you want to do standard shipping, $4.81, priority mail 2-day, $9.30, you could do that. And then the 1-day express, definitely account for that. But to keep it simple, I just want to start off by creating a shipping profile just to start, so I can have something in my store and I can start selling, and then I can add those upgrades, as they call it on Etsy, for faster shipping. So I'm just looking for standard right now. Again, keep it simple, guys. Otherwise it can get totally overwhelming. Probably it is overwhelming already. So let's go with the first class package service. $4.81 is our estimate, our shipping estimate for sending our t-shirt to a buyer in the US, across the US. So I chose something that was on purpose across the country, because I'm in California in this example. So this right here is $4.81. I would add a little, I would round it up, so put $5. So that is your standard shipping cost that you would charge to the buyer to send your t-shirt out. Okay, so I'm gonna note that. Make sure you record this. So t-shirt US, $5. Okay, now we're gonna look at Canada for the t-shirt, and we're gonna look at international for the t-shirt. Okay, these are all standard. I'm just looking at standard shipping, and we'll do the mugs next. But okay, let's go back and do Canada now. So let's go back to the start. So destination country is Canada. So I'm going to choose that. The value of the item being mailed, let's just say $12 for my t-shirt. I'm going to leave that the same. What are you mailing? That doesn't apply to me. Okay, let's go here. Calculate price based on shipping, dimensions, and size. Okay, so what is the weight of your mail piece? Again, we have that. Go back here. 6 ounces and then 12 by 15.5. So let's put that in. 0 pounds, 6 ounces. It is the large package. So I'm mailing from California to, let's just say, gonna continue. Is your package? Yes, it's rectangular. Okay, so what are the dimensions? We're gonna do this again. 1 inch in height, 12 inches in width, continue. So for standard, it's 1050. And again, I'm gonna round that up just to be safe. So we're going to do $11. We're gonna charge $11 for standard shipping for me to send the t-shirt to a buyer in Canada. So let's put that on here. $11. Okay. International. So we go ahead and do that. The process again will be similar. This video is already very long, so I just want to kind of take a little bit of shortcuts here to make sure that you're still hanging on with me. Let's just look at the mugs because it's a little bit different here. So let's go back to start. How about this? I'll do the mugs international with you so you can see how I'm doing that. So let's just say, right, we said Australia. Let's just choose that. And I'm choosing that purposely just because like whatever's the farthest away from me, I'm going to choose because that will be, you know, typically it will cost more. We're overestimating here. We're always overestimating to be safe. What's the value? Again, I'll leave, oh, right, this is the mug. So let's just say it's a little bit more, $15. That doesn't apply. We always go here, calculate price based on shape and size. Now the weight of my mug is different. It is 1.1 pounds. So 1 pound, 1 ounces. Okay, and is it a large package, an envelope, or a package? So is it more than 12 inches? No, it's not. It's 6 by 6 by 6. So it would be a package. And here we go. Standard international pricing. Let's see here. It's priority mail, priority, first class. Yeah, it would be this one right here. So to send to Australia, $23.50, round that up. Let's do $25 just in case. You could, again, it's totally, you could do $24, $25. I just like to overestimate. So we'll use $25 as that overestimation. Just put this international, $25 for the mugs. Now that's, I mean, you're looking at that and like, that's crazy. You know, the mug, if you purchase, let's just say I priced my mugs at $15 on Etsy and the shipping is $25. Yes, you do have to keep these costs in mind. I mean, you don't want to lose money, right? So you either have to charge that shipping or you just don't send internationally. You know, or you find you can actually set specific countries that you will ship to. So maybe you don't choose Australia, you'll choose other international countries. You can select those things. So definitely keep this stuff in mind because buyers do accept or do expect free shipping nowadays. Just the nature of Amazon and online shopping and that kind of thing. They always are looking out for those free shipping deals because people hate paying for shipping, myself included. So keep that in mind. You know, you do want to play around with these different shipping strategies, but at the same time, you don't want to lose money. So don't purposely offer free shipping if you know you're going to be losing money. That's not smart. What you can do is factor the cost of shipping into the product item and then, you know, test out offering free shipping with that item. There's, you know, I'm kind of going off track here, but there's lots of things you could do. I actually created a video talking about free shipping on this channel, so I'll put a link down to that in the description below if you guys are into hearing more about offering free shipping in your stores. So I'm gonna just pause the video here. I will pump out the other numbers here just so you don't have to watch me do every single one, and then we'll come back and finish off the rest. All right, guys, welcome back. So I took the extra time to come up with those shipping estimates, the shipping cost estimates for each of these things, and I wrote them down here. Now, one thing I noticed and wanted to point out when I was on the USPS site right here is that, you know, for all of those examples for all of those estimates, they were all, as I mentioned, the standard, you know, the lowest standard shipping costs. But if for your standard you want to offer 2-day shipping, then by all means go ahead and do that and let people know that your standard shipping is 2 days within the states or whatever the case may be. And you can take those numbers. You are the one who is creating the shipping profiles, so you decide what goes. If you want your standard to be within the states, if you want that to be 2-day priority mail shipping, then grab this number over here and put $15 as a shipping cost rather than the standard, which is right here, $13, which isn't very much of a difference, right? So it's actually worth it to go ahead and set the priority mail 2-day for this particular example. So take a look and see what makes sense. You know, it's totally, like I said, you're creating these fixed shipping profiles, so it's up to you to decide. Okay, so now that we have these numbers, we can finally create the shipping profiles, the fixed shipping profiles in our Etsy store. So let's go ahead and do that. That's the final step right here. Okay, so to create your shipping profiles, once you've logged into your Etsy store and you are in your store manager dashboard, you'll need to go to settings and then shipping settings. And once you are in those shipping settings, you can click on shipping profiles. And as you can see, these are all the shipping profiles I've created for the sake of creating them. But here, we're going to click on add a shipping profile. So I'll just go back. This is at the very bottom. You probably won't have anything in here, so it'll be at the very top. It'll say add a shipping profile. And this is where, you know, remember from the beginning of the video, Etsy asks you, do you want us to calculate it for you or do you want to create the fixed? So here you will choose, I'll enter fixed costs manually. All right. And now we can start to create our profiles. So we are shipping from the States. So I'm going to select the States. Processing time, how long does it take you to ship an item once purchased? So meaning, what is that time in between when a buyer actually purchases to you actually being ready to ship the product? So that's the processing time. I'm starting off with my t-shirts. So for my t-shirt, it takes about 3 to 5 days to print it and make sure it's all good. Checking, making sure it's, you know, there's no errors and everything looks good. So 3 to 5 days. Now we come down here. Okay, so this is why we did it in this way. Looking at estimates for the US, for Canada, and everywhere else, meaning international, because it is set up this way. So for the States, you select the shipping carrier. So you know, I'm just going to go with USPS because that's where we did our research. If you wanted to do all of your shipping with FedEx or all of your shipping with UPS or anything else, you can select that in here. Again, you set what goes, but I'm keeping everything simple so you guys can actually get started. So we're going to select that. The mail class, remember we chose everything as, when we were looking up our estimates, it was typically all first class mail, not ground. So we're going to choose first class mail. What I'll charge is a fixed cost. So for the t-shirt, let's go back here. And again, if you forget, if you're like, what mail class was it? You can go and grab that information from here, right? For the t-shirts, I remember it was a first class thing that was kind of like the lower thing that was available. These are the mugs, so that's different. So first class mail for the one item. Let's go back here. T-shirt within the States, it was $5. Now they're asking you, you know, if let's say a buyer buys 2 shirts or 3 shirts, how much will you charge extra in terms of shipping for that extra weight included? And you kind of need to think here, because if I was doing the mugs, it would significantly increase for each additional item, because it's an extra pound, over a pound, to have another mug sent, and it's an extra box. So more packaging is involved there, right? That additional item cost will be significant for a mug. For a t-shirt, I can slip in, 3 t-shirts in one mailer. So in terms of additional items, it would be negligible, especially like the weight of a t-shirt isn't very much, and I'd be using the same mailer in most cases. If someone orders 10 t-shirts, then I won't be able to fit it in that mailer. But let's, again, keep it simple. You're really not going to be able to account for every single case right in the beginning when you're starting off your store. So just be willing to let those things go, and you'll figure it out along the way once you have those cases come up, and it'll be okay, guys. So each additional item for a t-shirt, it would be like under $1, I would say. I'm just going to put 75 cents. So if someone orders 2 or 3 shirts, they'll be charged $5 shipping, plus, let's say for 2 shirts, they'll be charged $5.75 for shipping. So Canada, okay, still using USPS. When I looked it up, again, it was the Priority Mail International. Definitely not free shipping for that. It will be, and see how easy it is, because we did the previous research. It's so much easier once you know those figures. You can just plug them in, because when you're first starting your store, you probably opened up this window and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. So we put that $11 in there. Additional item, again, it's like negligible. So 75 cents, and it's okay, it's going to Canada, so this is just, it's about the same. It's not significant for a t-shirt. Your case will be different. Every item will be different, so I'm just going with this particular example here. Everywhere else, yes to still USPS. We did Priority Mail International, and that fixed cost will be $15. All right. And here, and you can read what it says here. You can hover over it. It says this amount will be added on top of the one item amount for each additional item. And additional item will be 75 cents. Alrighty. These are my shipping profiles that I've created. Again, if you wanted to offer upgrades, you don't have to do that right off the bat. Again, keeping things simple. But if you did the research to come up with those numbers for 1-day shipping, 1-day priority express mail, that kind of thing, you can add those upgrades right here. And also in the case of, if you don't want, if it doesn't make sense for you to ship internationally, you can easily just trash this thing and get rid of it, like so, and only ship to the US and Canada. You can also choose specific countries as well. So if I'm adding another location here, you can put that back and choose everywhere else, or you can, select certain countries and specifically create those things. But you don't need to, guys. Keep it simple. So that's our t-shirt standard shipping profile for now. So that's what I have, right? So I've created that. That's over here. And now I can create the shipping profile for my mugs. I'm going to do the fixed costs. I'm doing this from the US. Processing time for the mugs. 1 to 3 business days. So it takes me 1 to 3 days to print that mug, make sure, and to make sure it's printed, everything looks good. And then putting in our numbers here, right? So going back here, mugs was $13. These prices are crazy to send a mug out, but let's just go with it for the sake of this example. And for the mugs, it was ground. So the cheapest one was the ground option. So we're going to go with that. Now, each additional item for a mug, it's extra weight, okay? And it's extra, like an extra box. Maybe you need to order bigger boxes in these cases, or you just ship 2, you know, separately. It's up to you, or you can put those 2 boxes in a bigger box. You need to think of those scenarios and how it applies to your particular item. You can also, just to be sure, before you fill out this piece, you can go back to the price calculator and say, and you know, factor in that additional weight. So again, let's say I'm sending to the States. I'm going to go back here. One mug was 1.1 pounds. So I'm going to now put this to see how that goes. And it was a package. Okay. So here now it's going to have changed. It is now 16, rounding things up, $17, which is a difference of $4. Okay. So I'm going to put $5. And I need to charge $5 additional shipping for every extra mug that you order from me, just to factor in because of the additional weight and that sort of thing. So you guys can start to see the idea of how I'm doing this, and you know, name your profile, create profile, and then you'll have that shipping profile show up when someone is at checkout. They'll see that fixed cost amount that you put in. All right, so that is how you calculate your shipping profiles as well as put them in and set them up in your store. This has been a super long video, and I really thank you guys for watching all the way. If you're still with me here, I know some of you need that kind of detailed explanation in order to fully understand it, because I found, you know, just with the articles and the videos that are already out there explaining shipping, it's not enough. It didn't help me. So I wanted to really go in depth in this video and really explain it. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Tip number 1. If you guys don't already know, I am an SEO nerd. So anything that has to do with optimizing your Etsy listings is going to really help get more traffic to your Etsy listings and your store. Make sure that each product listing is specifically optimized for a certain keyword. So let's say you had a t-shirt that has a funny pig design on it. You want to go into the Etsy search bar and type in related keyword phrases that are relevant to your funny pig shirt. So you might type in funny pig t-shirt, pig fans, anything like that. And once you start to play around with those keywords, you'll see that related search terms are also pulling down for you, which tells you that people are searching for that. So if you don't see anything at all coming down for pig shirts, then it might be, you might want to try a different angle, like farm animals shirt or something like that. But if you do, make sure you pick one of those keyword phrases. You will be using the rest of the keywords for your tag section, but you're going to be optimizing it for one particular keyword phrase. So choose one that has maybe two or three words in it. Let's say it's funny pig shirts, and put this at the very beginning of your title. Make sure it's in your title, along with sprinkle other keywords related to that shirt. Also make sure it's in your description as well, and absolutely make sure it's in your tags. So you want to do everything you can to optimize your specific listing for that particular shirt, because Etsy loves rewarding shops that actually provide the listings and the products that people are searching for. So make sure it's a relevant keyword phrase that you're optimizing your listing for. Also related to search engine optimization, make sure that you are filling out as much information as possible on your listing. So that means selecting an occasion if it's applicable, selecting or identifying the materials related to your product. Also putting it in a section or a category, make sure you fill that out. What you can also do is put a link in your description to related products that are associated with your listing. So for example, again, with the funny pig shirt, if you have a funny pig shirt and you also have more funny pig shirts on your shop, then put a link to that particular category of funny pig shirts in your Etsy description. This not only helps with search engine optimization with inbound links, what's called inbound links, but it also helps your customer find other related items if they're not really that thrilled about the one that they're on. Tip number 2 is photos. So what happens when someone searches for an item on Etsy? They type it into the search engine and a bunch of listings come up. They will look at the images first and then read the titles and extra details, but it's always the image first that catches their eye. So make sure you are using good photos, good images. Images go a long way when it comes to selling your product. And you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money getting models to wear your shirt and taking photos of it and in the wild and that sort of thing. I mean, it definitely helps, but it's not always sustainable because, especially for a seller like myself, we have a ton of listings on Etsy and we're always adding more. So to fork over that money on always getting good photos for every single shirt is just, it's not feasible. So you can get creative. If you still have spots for uploading more pictures, fill those up by putting a size chart in your photos. Even though it says the information in your description, still put a size chart up as a photo. You could also create what kind of looks like a collection. So if you have other funny pig t-shirts, grab images of those funny pig t-shirts along with the one that along with the design that this listing is about. Put it all together and say, hey, we have a funny pig collection here, so check out more, link in description. You know, you can create these different graphics that inform your potential buyers that you can offer. You have a lot of things to offer and you want to be as detailed as possible. Tip number 3, engagement. So anything you can do to engage with your customers is great. Etsy sees that and really likes that. So for example, whenever someone orders something on our shop, I send out an email saying, hey, thank you for your order, and I will let you know when the item ships out. When it ships out, I send another message to the customer saying, hey, your item is shipped out and it's estimated to arrive between da-da-da-da-da. The third message, so we send 3 messages in total to all of our customers. The third message, after they've received the item, so I can see whether or not they've received the item by looking at the shipping slips for each product. So once it says delivered, I go and send the customer another message saying, hey, it looks like you received the item, just checking in to make sure everything's great. If you don't mind leaving us a review to let us know and let us other potential buyers know your experience, that would be awesome. And then I give them a link for a discount if they want to purchase more on our store. You know, most of the time people don't reply back to these messages. Sometimes they do, which is great, but sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. It's okay because Etsy sees that you're constantly communicating with your customers. And also whenever you get messages on Etsy, Etsy also looks at how fast you reply to those messages as well. The number one thing to note on Etsy is that it's not a sales platform like other places. It's a trust platform. So anything that you can do to increase the trust between your store and your buyers, Etsy will reward you for that. Tip number 4. Etsy's algorithm is set up to give priority to stores that are active. So this is a huge one, is uploading new listings to your store on a consistent basis. So Etsy doesn't want to see a stagnant shop. They want to see that you're active, that you're updating your listings, that you're making changes here, that you're using the app, that you're uploading new items, that you're responding to customers, etc. The question is, how many new listings should you be uploading? Well, it's more important to focus on consistently uploading rather than the number. So for us, we upload between 5 to 10 new listings on Etsy right now per week. If you don't list something for 3 weeks to a month, then it might hurt your store. But at the same time, you don't have to upload something new every day. Just make sure that you are consistently and regularly uploading new items. Because when you upload something new, when you list a new item, your store automatically gets a little bump. And that's because it's being bumped up in the search results. So in turn, uploading on a consistent or regular basis, week to week, will help you achieve that extra exposure so that you can make more sales on your store. And tip number 5 is take a look at the Etsy stats in your dashboard. So look at your analytics and particularly go check out how people are finding your store. So what are they typing into the search engines that makes them land on your store or on a particular listing within your store? You can use that information strategically to know what types of new listings to upload. So for example, if you are seeing that people are constantly landing on your store for funny pig shirts, then make more of those shirts. And there's an unlimited amount of ideas that can come from a funny pig shirt. Add more of that, give them variety. If they've landed on your store and they haven't bought anything from finding that just means that they haven't found a particular funny pig shirt on your store that they like. And also you can see where people are searching from or where people are from when they land on your store. So again, use that information, make items or products that are specifically catered to that particular culture or country. So in this video, we're talking specifically about relevancy. One of the things that can really help increase your sales on Etsy is staying relevant. And that's kind of another way of saying improving the conversion rate of your listings. It basically means when a shopper searches for something on Etsy, Etsy wants to know that that shopper will see what it is that they expect to see. So Etsy's goal is to help shoppers find what it is that they want to purchase. Now, why is this important? Why am I telling you this? Because all of these little things relates to a listing's quality score. Etsy gives a quality score to every single listing. Whenever a shopper clicks on a listing after they've searched for a certain keyword, the listing's quality score goes up. Whenever they've favorited that listing after clicking on it, the listing's quality score goes up. It's basically a measure of how relevant that listing is to what that shopper is looking for. The higher the quality score, the higher your listings rank. So to put it simply, when a shopper searches for something, clicks on a listing, and buys that product, that listing will rank higher than others that don't have that same quality score. It is a good idea to focus your time and efforts into improving the conversion rate of your existing listings. Now, there might be some listings where, even after you've improved them, people aren't really clicking on them or engaging with that. You will have those listings. The listings that actually have potential. So you can see that. You can go into your Etsy stats and see what are the highly viewed listings in your store. You can calculate the conversion rate of each of those listings, and from that, if you see that your conversion rate is, let's say, below 2%, then there's some work to be done there because a lot of traffic is coming to that listing, but for some reason people aren't actually buying. You can say this another way as well. If you have listings that don't have a lot of views, so not a lot of traffic is going to those listings, but they are converting really well. So you see that out of the low amount of traffic that is going to those listings, the conversion rate is high. People are buying them. They're like 3-4%. which by the way is, so I would say between 2 to 3% is kind of where you want to be. I kind of still take 2% as there's work to be done. We can improve that. So going back to the example, if you have listings that are converting really high, not a lot of traffic, then you want to get more traffic to those listings. So maybe it's something that you need to improve in the thumbnail because that's what people see first. So that the image, the thumbnail image in the search results, or maybe it's the title. So there's two main parts to improving conversions. It's improving the number of clicks on the listings from the search results, and then it's improving the sale, the conversion of sales. So how many people are purchasing once they actually are on your listing. So you got to look at the listings in your store and ask yourself that question. Is it that people aren't even seeing my listings? They're not even coming to that listing or clicking on it? Or is it that they are coming to the listing, but they're not buying? Because each of those things require different actions. So if it's that people aren't really coming to your listing, they're not finding your listing, they're not clicking on it, then maybe it's something that you need to improve, like I said, in the thumbnail picture, that very first picture that shows up. It might be the price, because that's what, so all of those things that buyers see first in the search results could be tweaked. Maybe it's the tags. So maybe your listings aren't actually optimized enough to be found in the first place. So that's when you need to go dive deeper into search engine optimization. And I will have another video coming out on that for you. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for that video on how to improve your search optimization for your Etsy listings. So those are the main things for improving traffic coming to your listings: the price, your thumbnail image, and your keywords. Now, what about sales? So lots of people are coming to the listing, but not actually buying. So this is where you can start to look at the individual listing. Do you have enough photos? Do you have good photos on that listing? Do you have enough information in the description that really tells your buyer what it is that they can expect to receive when they purchase? Do you have good shipping times? You know, is it going to take forever for the customer to receive that product, or is it a short shipping period, which is, buyers always like short period shipping period times. So maybe you might need to consider adding a new shipping profile where you offer express shipping, so that just in case someone is liking what it is that they see, but they want it right away, they can purchase from you because you have that express option. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a tip that has really helped us increase reviews on our store. And these are real reviews, authentic reviews from real customers. So reviews are super important on Etsy. They really help your store, especially when you're a new seller and you're trying to get your first few sales. It really helps to create a really good connection with your customers, your first few customers, and to ask for them to leave a review. So that is how we first got started in growing our store. And as you can see here, it's still actually working still at the time of recording this video. These are recent dates here. It's still the same thing that we've been doing over and over again. And that is messaging our customers once they receive their product, asking them for a review. Now, it sounds super simple, and yes, not everybody's gonna leave a review if you ask them nicely, but it does help. And if you give them a good reason to leave a review, that also just adds a little bit more in terms of getting them to take that action. So I'm gonna share with you the template that I use to message our customers over and over again with this request. So the order came through on April 22nd, and on May 15th, I sent her this message. So I basically track when the customer receives their package. I can see tracking on all of the packages that go out. So when it says arrived, I then message the customer with this message right here. So I say, hi, Annabelle, name of the customer. Just wanted to check in with you to make sure your package arrived safe and sound. If so, I would love to hear your feedback by leaving a review on our store. And then tell them why. Why does it mean so much to you? I say in this message, these reviews help our store immensely. But if you're just starting out, this sentence actually changed. When we were first starting out, we put, these reviews help grow our new Etsy shop immensely. You know, like hammer in the fact that you are a new seller, if that is the case, and that it's really helping your store right now. If you have another reason, you can put that in there as well, but explain to them in a way that they can connect with you. And then you can give them instructions for how to leave that review. Very important, just making it super easy for them. You can share your feedback with me by going to You, Purchases, and Reviews, and then leaving a review on your order. Thank you again for your purchase and hope you have a wonderful weekend. And then what we also do, not a total requirement, but this is optional, is we give them a coupon code to enjoy a discount on their next order or their next purchase. So this might not necessarily, this is just more of like a customer retention thing, although it might be the case that it helps with leaving a review, I don't know, but you don't have to include this if you don't want to. You can see here it's very much structured like, hey, just want to check in. If you would love to hear your feedback, share your feedback with me. Here are the instructions. Thank you, right? So this was sent to her on May 15th, and I actually got she left the review much later, July 15th. It just makes you think that if they didn't receive that message, they might have not remembered at all to leave that. It was almost kind of like a reminder, because not every customer knows how important reviews are to the Etsy sellers, to shop owners. So I know it's a super simple tip, guys, but if you're not already doing it, please implement it into your Etsy operations, because one review goes a very long way in helping your store grow. In this video, we're going to talk about what are Etsy shop updates and how to use them to your advantage to get more sales in your store. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what Etsy shop updates are, what they can do for your store, and how to actually post an Etsy shop update. So an Etsy shop update is kind of like Etsy's little version of creating a social network platform. So basically, you know how you throw a post up on Facebook? This is kind of like that. So you can actually post on Etsy, and that shop update, as they call it, that post, which is an image along with a caption, is going to go out to all of your fans. And when I say all of your fans, that means everybody who's ever favorited your shop, everybody who's ever favorited a listing, a particular listing in your store, and everyone who's ever bought from your store. So it's really cool because it's kind of like it's like a little mini email list, a little way to engage with people who have already told you that they like your store. And what it is you posting an image along with a caption, and you can also link directly to a listing on your store. So whatever your post is, it always has to relate to your shop. And it could be things like, showing your work environment, or doing a behind the scenes of how something is made, snapping a photo of someone wearing your item or that item in its environment, meaning like if you sell artwork, for example, you want to take a photo of it with your piece of artwork on a wall. So things like that. And you can get creative in terms of what it is that you can post. If you're holding a promotion or a sale, post something related to that and let all of your past buyers and people who have favorited your store know that you are having a sale, because they might have liked something, and then if that item goes on sale, they might be more inclined to purchase it. Anytime you release a new item in your store is also a good opportunity to post a shop update. And whenever you do post a shop update, anyone who's interacted with your store will see your update in their dashboard. So either on Etsy.com or in the home feed of the Etsy app. This is because buyers see a personalized feed. Whenever they come to Etsy.com on their homepage or on the app, they see a personalized feed of items that and shops that they've already interacted with. So it could be a really good habit to get into if you're posting shop updates all the time. I would say at least once a week, but a little bit more if you can. You definitely don't want to bombard those people that have interacted with your shop, but just let them know that you're still around. So I say maybe 1 to 3 times a week is a good kind of medium. Okay, so now you know a little bit about what Etsy shop updates are. Let's actually show you how to post an Etsy shop update. And by the way, you can only do this through your mobile phone. So you can't post an Etsy shop update from your computer or laptop or desktop. You have to have the Sell on Etsy app. So make sure you go to your app store and download that first. Log into the app with your Etsy login. And from there, you'll be able to post your shop update. So this is what the Etsy app looks like. It's called Sell on Etsy. And once you've downloaded it and logged in, just open it up and you'll come to your shop overview or dashboard. You'll just need to first click on More, which is the 3 lines on the bottom right corner, and then go to where it says Marketing, and then go to Social Media. So in there, you're actually able to create social media posts, connect your social media accounts, and it's actually a great place to live in if you are using social media to share the listings that you have on your Etsy store. Once you're in there, just scroll all the way down on the bottom and you'll see it says Shop Updates. Share photos of your products and process with the Etsy community. So you'll see here you'll have 3 options. And it suggests, okay, take a photo of something to do with your workspace or your process, showing how you build your items. And or you can do something showing your item in the wild. So wherever your item lives, its environment, take a photo of that. So I actually have something that is in the wild. I have an image that I want to post of my photo. So to show you how to do this, I'm actually going to post a shop update to our store, and we sell custom designed shirts. So we design them first in Photoshop and then we print them and make them into t-shirts. I have a photo of one of our customers who actually sent me a photo of their son who's having who's celebrating his 3rd birthday and was so happy to wear one of the shirts that she bought for him. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna tap on your item in the wild because that's the kind of post that I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna go to the plus sign, and then it's gonna say, do you want to take a photo now or choose an existing photo? So I'm gonna choose it because I already have it. And this is so cute. Like I said, her son was celebrating his 3rd birthday, and his whole birthday was train themed. So she bought him this choo-choo shirt. This is one of the designs that we have in our store, and took a photo of him wearing it. And it was so cute. I love receiving images like this from our customers. So I want to celebrate that. And at the same time, I'm going to link this shop update directly to that listing. You know, you can kind of like move it around in place, or you can like zoom. I think you can zoom. Yeah, you can zoom up on something, slight Instagram-ish here. And then you don't have a way yet to add filters or anything as such. So if you want to edit your photo, make sure you do it beforehand, before you upload it into the app. And then click on Next when you're ready. And then it's going to ask you to tag the photo. So tagging the photo means attaching it to one of your listings, to a related listing. So I'm going to tap on that and then type in choo choo. Oh, that's actually the adult. We have an adult version of that shirt. So let's link it to the kids one right here. Choo choo train t-shirt for kids. And then I'm going to tap on Next. And then it's going to ask you what's happening in this photo. So this is where you can kind of type out your own caption. So especially with a photo of this nature, wherever you can, I think like a little mini story works really well to help connect the people who are interested in your store to your items. I'm going to write a little caption about this adorable little boy and his 3rd birthday, and we'll come right back after I've written that. All right, I'm all done writing up my caption. You can see here I wrote, love receiving messages like this from our customers. She bought our Choo Choo Kids tee for her son to celebrate his 3rd birthday, which was train themed. Shop this cute tee if you know someone who is loco for locomotives. Ha ha ha. Comes in adult sizes too. So wherever you can, you want to kind of tell a story about what it is that they are seeing in the image in as few words as possible, and then give them a call to action. I say in as few words as possible because you only have 255 characters when you're writing this caption, so just keep that in mind. So once you're done that, click on done, and then there you go. So you can go, once you click on share on Etsy, this image will go out to all of your customers who have previously bought from you, everyone who's ever favorited your shop or your listing, and they will see that in their home feed. You'll also be able to see that this shop update is posted if you go to your shop and then scroll down to the very bottom under the reviews where it says updates, and then there you'll be able to see your collection of all the updates that you posted, like you see here, along with the listing that you've attached it to and your little caption. Now what's cool about this is that if you've connected your social media accounts, it will also post this update, if you tell it to go to your other social media accounts. So that's pretty awesome, because if someone retweets or repins or shares your post on a different social media platform, you are potentially reaching a lot of people who can click directly from that post and come to your store, directly to that listing. Today, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to issue a refund on Etsy. So if you have a customer who has sent in a complaint or is requested for a refund, this is how you do it. So I had a customer in my store, she's in the UK, and she was upset at the fact that she had to pay customs fees to receive her package. Now, even though our store policy says that we're not responsible for custom fees because that's something that's out of our control, right? It's something imposed by the government. It's kind of like sales tax, you know, it's not something that we're responsible for. But even though we have that as our store policy, it's clear on the front end of our shop on Etsy, I think it's better to just issue the refund and prevent from getting any bad review on your store. So this is how you do it. You might have already received a message from your customer. So what you can do is you can start the issue of the refund from the message page. So as you see here, I'm in the back end, the dashboard of my shop manager, but I'm in messages. And typically this is kind of how you'll get that request come through. You'll have a message, and on the side here, it says order history. So you can collapse that and then click on the order in order to go to the order page. If you're not, if you haven't received a message and you've just, it's something that maybe you received an email from the customer and you need to go into your store and do this without having received a message, then you can also get to this order page from your orders and shipping tab right over here. All you need to do is just find the order. So if it's still pending, meaning they haven't received their package yet, then it would still be in the new or even in the in progress section. But if they have already received the package, then it would be under completed. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for the order. So you just need to click on it from here, or as I showed you, from the messages tab. And once you're in this order screen, you need to click on more actions and then issue a refund. So this is how you start the process of issuing the refund, and you just basically follow through this page and indicate what it is that you're refunding and why. So right here, you can select from a whole whackload of reasons why you're issuing a refund. And you can see here, you know, buyer and shop owner agreed to cancel the transaction. You can't complete the transaction for whatever reason. The item was not as described, anything like this. You select the best one that is closest to the reason for your refund. Let's just say it's this one. And then this right here is where you can put in any message to the buyer. So I would typically say something like, hi, and then the person's name. If you've already discussed it in previous box, then I'd put usually something like, as discussed in our previous messages, I am issuing you a refund for, and then I would state the product name, due to, and then again, I'm just putting in the reason. And this is just all for them to know, but also for record keeping purposes for yourself, because you can always see, you can come back and see this message that you sent. So just if you need a reminder here for the refund. And then I'll just finish it off with thank you and hope you have a wonderful day. So just still ending on a positive note. And then I'd leave off with my name there. Over here, it's showing you all of the items that that customer has ordered on that specific order. So in this case, the customer had ordered 2 items, and you can see here I had already refunded, this is the customer that I'm talking about, I had already refunded one of the items. It's kind of complicated. They were sent at different times. So this is why only one of them was refunded. But for you, you won't see anything in this box. It will look something like this, right? So what you need to do is you would either click on the box here that says issue a full refund, and it will automatically put in the amount. It will take the amount here of the cost of the item, as well as any shipping that was paid, and then you'll see the total here at the bottom. This is what it's showing, the amount that you're refunding. But if you want to issue a partial refund, let's say, which is what I did in this case, you would only put in the amount in one of these boxes. So I issued a refund of the cost of the item, not the shipping, because it had already reached her. So I wouldn't be responsible to refund the shipping. So let's just say I'm issuing a refund for this mug. I would put in $30. And then here it would be, I wouldn't put anything because I'm not refunding the shipping that she paid. And then you'll see the total amount here that will be refunded. All you need to do is just kind of scroll down here. And when you do a refund, Etsy will pay you back any Etsy processing fees that occurred from that transaction. So you will get credited those fees. So it's showing you what fees are credited here towards you. So the payment processing fees, this will come back into your account as a result of this refund, as well as the transaction fee credit. So once you've reviewed all that, there's one more step here. You just need to click on Review Refund, and you can kind of glance at all of this before you go ahead and submit it, and that's when the refund will be officially issued to the customer. So guys, that is it. That's how you issue a refund on Etsy. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Etsy tutorials. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.